Good evening, it's Michael Coder speaking again for your second tutorial on the Goal Interceptor website. So, in the first tutorial we've created a couple of goals. Now in this one I've changed profile to go to my actual profile because I've got more goals, more data on it, so it's going to be more useful for you to see what it's like. So at the top of the star, right now I'm under the dashboard. You can also click on View My Dashboard, these two are the same. So here you've got your list according to the schedule of goals. You've got your list of things to do. Once again, or rather I should say, your habits that you're planning on. Stuff there's a color code here for the colors. Red means that you haven't done it enough in the past week. So for example, yoga, I've done that 3 days ago, and that's for my goal, physical fitness. Green is stuff that you've done sufficiently according to your goals and your definition of your habits. And finally, blue is for stuff that you've done today. So all of these stuff I've done today. For example, yoga, let's say that I've just done yoga. So I would click on the little green arrow to record the event. So the idea here is you keep track of what you're doing. A lot of people say if you don't measure it, it doesn't get done. So this is your chance. So as a minimum, you pull it up, you click on the green arrow, and then you click on record action. But ideally, to really get the most benefit out of this holistic type website and where you look at yourself as a system, you've got these four aspects of yourself here that you can rate. The first step is taking action. So here by default, you've got the amount of duration that you've set when you created the habit. For example, when I created yoga, I defined that I estimated that it's going to be about 20 minutes at every time. The key here to remember is don't get too hung up on the minutes or the time. It's not the most important things. Now, whether it's an hour or 6 hours, it's worth noting. So here, most of the time, I don't touch the time of the action taken, but I do take the time to rate one of these three things, especially if it's gone very, very well. It's really worth, for example, if you're feeling really good after doing something, rate it here as you're in a great mood afterwards, because it's going to be useful later on as a trigger to know what works well for you. On the other hand, if you feel really, really bad, so I've got my yoga, I felt great, but I was sore all over the place, I would put mild or low. And then this is in the notes, you can write, it's a bit like a little journal if you want. Once again, you don't have to, but if you do, you'll see it's later on very useful to understand what you've done. Where you can write, did a great session with the coach, with the instructor. Okay, so there you go. So you record the action for yoga, and then watch what happens here. Right now it's showing as red because I haven't done it enough, and my plan was to do it at 7:30. So once I click on it, then it goes on to the second section here of things that I've actually done, and then it records it. So that's the dashboard. This shows you what you were planning on doing today, where the bottom part looks at each of the goal in blue, and it looks at the habits that you've defined. Same color code, three colors, red, blue, and green. And each of them, you can use that as that part of the dashboard to actually click on any of them and record it. The other part of the dashboard, very visual, is these four columns plus these progress bar. Progress bar tells you if you've done it enough. For example, marketing and sales for my work. Looks like I've done it about 2 out of 5 times, so clearly not enough, and which is why it's red. If you and these are the average ratings for your action, the time you've spent, for your mind rating, body, and spirit, or your mood. If you hover your cursor over it, you'll see it actually gives you your average over the past 30 days. So that's useful once again for to know what things that work well and things that don't work well. The and it's very visual. So for example, I can quickly glance and see that, okay, overall I'm doing not too bad, except for, oh, this one is actually red, this one's green, and the little stars are those that are going for the highest rating. They're really good things. The two other things I want to cover is if you click on any of these goals titles, This is where you get your goals report for that goal. So that shows you your progress over time. It shows you the amount of time you spent on that goal, and tells you the average of your ratings. If you click on the specific habit, for example, here, it does the same thing for that habit. There's no progress shown, but it does show you the amount of time you've spent over each of the week, and the blue line is what I was planning on spending as far as time. And this is the average of rating, and this is the journal of what I've done, what I've recorded. From here, you can also go on the plan to go back to the plan part, which was remember the first part of the tutorial. So if you want to quickly review what times you were planning, if you want to update it and things, you can also see, in this case, the blue is the time schedule for that specific goal, and the orange is for all of the goals combined. So you can use that to balance out your time. If your commitment on one day is too big, you can go back up and change your balance. If I go back to the dashboard, the last thing I want to show you is the objective, and that takes you, this is how you measure your progress. So the objectives for that goal, which was for me when I work on this actual app and doing some coaching, and these are the objective, and this is how you update your objectives here. Going back here, finally, this last part here of the dashboard shows you visual indication of your progress. For example, here, this is for today, this is for the past week. So for today, I've done the work category, I've done more than 100%. But for health and happiness, I'm about at 40%. So not quite balanced, but not every day can be balanced. The big thing to remember is this is according to your plan, to what you've done, what you've planned for that specific day. So if you're ideally all equal at 100%, that means you follow your plan exactly and you've touched on everything. Where this is for 7 days. And you see for 7 days I'm much more in line with, or in balance, I guess. And it doesn't really happen that often that I'm 100% on everything, but what I try to make sure is that over the longer term I'm more or less balanced, so not too many a different range. Where this shows you for your goals the amount of effort over 7 days. So once again, for you see this is 167%, so I'm really working too much on these two projects. The other ones are at about 80%. So of course, if you work more on certain things, you're gonna get less things done in the other area. Finally, this is the pie chart that shows you your different facets and the amount of time you've allocated to the different goals. All in all, this is the dashboard. In summary, if you look at that, on the top part, you've got today's habit, things you were planning on doing today. Don't worry if you don't get everything done, but this is a really good objective. And the bottom part gives you for each of the goal, in order of priority, your habits. Now, the goals that are here are in order of priority, but priority 5 and under will not be displayed. They're considered to be, I guess, long-term goals. So this is the dashboard with the little light, status light, telling you how you're doing and how you're feeling. Because it's one thing to reach your goal, but you don't want to suffer too much. You want to feel healthy, feel good as you work on your goals. And finally, the rightmost column actually shows you your efforts that you've done. If you're working on the right things, on the right balance. And here, the new features, I usually put little notes on the fixes and little upgrades that I do. Overall, the dashboard is where you'll spend most of the time. It's the center of the app, and this is where you take action and find out how to adapt. Thank you very much for watching this. Have fun. Go right ahead. Check out your goals and look at your dashboard for today. Start taking action and enjoy your success. Thank you very much. Bye.